to this live author interview session. So today on 7th September 2024, I will be interviewing author Arnab Basu, who has written book Pseudo Ecotourism. If you love wildlife and nature, I would absolutely recommend you to pick up this book because I have been reading this past last night and I'm completely hooked. So we'll send a request to author to join this live session. Arnab Basu joins the author live interview session. I would like to say that this book is about his experience, how he became a wildlife photographer, and whatever he's experienced being a wildlife photographer. Uh, uh, so I've already sent the request. Arnab sir, I've already sent your request to join in the live session. Please accept the request. Hi.
Hi.
Am I audible to you, sir?
Yes, absolutely. You are. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So, firstly, thank you for this author live session. It is my pleasure to be interviewing you. I would like to let you know that I've already read 150 pages, and the detailed review will be soon. I will be putting it up on YouTube. So, starting with this author live interview session, the first question that I would like to ask you is, what inspired you to write pseudo ecotourism?
Okay. So first of all, thank you very much, Devanshi, for hosting me. And to answer your question about the inspiration behind this book, see, I am a trained environmentalist and a sustainability professional. So definitely, I have natural inclination and interest towards various aspects of sustainability. But that's
Yes.
exactly not what inspired me. So what happened around 10 years back, I picked up the hobby of wildlife photography and ecotourism, and with an intention to be the most interesting person in the room. So I
Yeah.
thought probably taking pictures of animals and that roaming in forest and mountains of various uh, part of the world will be a cool hobby, and I'll be the talking point in my social circle. And that's a very honest confession over here. But what happened, that as I started getting involved in these in 10 years, I kind of realized that there was not something quite right the way we're doing ecotourism and wildlife photography. I interacted with many ecotourists and photographers like me, and I realized that most of their only aspiration in life is see a tiger in the wild or take the pictures of a tiger in the wild.
Yeah.
And that single species focused ecotourism and wildlife photography is not really a healthy sign for forest or
Exactly.
conservation or for the animal itself. And
Yeah.
that's kind of, that then I started realizing that tiger is an apex predator, and this way of doing ecotourism is transforming it into a mere object of photography, a trophy to be possessed by ecotourists. And I started correlating all these with aspects of sustainability, and that kind of inspired me actually to write this book.
Honestly, this book also opened my eyes. So, past some years back, I visited Jim Corbett, and when I was going through your stories of Jim Corbett, it reminded me of my own stories. And even I realized that I was also in the lookout for tiger, looking out for the tigers only, and I did not enjoy uh, watching other species or learning about new species. So yes, this is a very important awareness that needs to be spread out to other people. So moving on to the second question of the interview, what do you hope the readers take away from this book?
Okay, so I think the reader's key takeaway should be the realization that ecotourism is a very powerful hobby to influence various aspects of sustainability. What happens when an ordinary human takes part in ecotourism or wildlife photography, takes pictures of flora and fauna in nature, sees flora and fauna, then despite not being wildlife expert, conservationist, environmentalist, they do disperse the splendor of nature among many other ordinary humans who haven't yet experienced all this. So that's why ecotourism is a powerful tool, I believe, to promote various concepts of sustainability, to promote the socio-economic aspect involved in that. The people who are making the living out of that, everything can be influenced by active participation in ecotourism, and that's the key takeaway. However, that should not focus on one single species. See, India, if we talk about the home of more than 92,000 floral species, which is around 7 to 8% of global floral species. We have more than 1,200 bird species, more than 400 mammal species. So it's not just fair, actually, just to focus on one single species in our ecotourism and wildlife photography activities. And that's what I call pseudo ecotourism, which is title of this book. So that should be the key takeaway from my book.
Okay. So, what research work did you do while writing this book?
Uh, of course, that there is an involvement, there is an investment of 10 years. And in these 10 years, I traveled across forests and mountains in various parts of the world. Actually, probably more than 200 forests, mountains, and ecotourism destinations I explored in around 8 countries in 3 continents.
Wow.
However, this book I zeroed down actually my concept of ecotourism is only in subcontinental forests, which is India, Bangladesh, Nepal, and Bhutan, these 4 countries. And this is the main research work, like documenting actually that of various flora and fauna through my photography. I photographed some of the rarest of the rare fauna. Many of them are critically endangered animals or endangered animals. I interacted with numerous people who are involved in ecotourism and wildlife photography, photographers, ecotourists, tour operator, conservationist, wildlife expert, forest department official, and indigenous people, more importantly, the people who are living much more closer to nature. Their lifestyle is way more sustainable than what we can think about. They're actually cohabiting with wildlife, and including all of them in our ecotourism activities, which I call inclusive ecotourism, the term which I've coined in this book. Uh, Understanding of these and correlating everything with the concept of sustainability, as I'm a trained environmentalist with 2 decades of experience in sustainability. That also helped me actually in this correlation work. So this is the main research work behind writing this book.
Amazing. And I can actually see it in the book because honestly, it has been very captivating for me to read this book. You won't believe, last night I literally read for 3 hours and I finished reading up to 120 pages. So I obviously like this book, and I would love that other people who love nature and wildlife should actually pick up this book. It's very essential. So moving on to the next question, key issues that you have identified while writing pseudo ecotourism.
Key issues are, of course, human. That various aspects or elements of human psychology, ego, arrogance, complicated relationship between various people, desire for fame and glory, materialism, So all these various aspects of human psychology, and I surprisingly found during my 10 years of research work that all these issues are directly connected with nature and environment. It leads us towards a situation where I get entrapped with the pseudo ecotourism, what we are trying to mention. And I was also one of them. And there are many other people who are interacted around me are basically victim of these these elements of human psychology, which has direct correlation with environment and nature. And I characterize many of them in this book. So these are the key issues, actually, the human elements of various human psychology and their interrelationship with nature and environment are the key issues identified in this book.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, I read some of the key issues in this book where you connected the human behavior and pattern along with, like the animals' human behavior and pattern, and it was beautiful how you connected them. So, moving on to the next question. If you had to persuade readers to read your book, Pseudo Ecotourism, what would you say to persuade your readers? Why would they
Okay.
pick up this book?
Yeah, so as you also mentioned before, that I think that generally human have basic interest in nature and environment and wildlife,
Yeah,
right? So people who have this basic interest in nature and wildlife and environment, and people who care about sustainability of this planet, who are concerned about the future of this planet, the planetary health. We all know about climate change and global warming, which are going on. We are talking a lot about it. So people
yeah,
who
yeah.
care about these should pick up this book at least once, read the book, and share their feedback with me and with my publisher. As a sustainability professional, I would love to call this book as a book of sustainability. However, in reality, sustainability is probably at the very core of this book, hidden by multiple layers. And those layers are human relationship, materialism, commodity fetishism. However, perhaps the most prominent layer is adventurism. Adventurism in forests and mountains, which includes surviving difficult terrain, surviving difficult climatic condition, surviving animal attack, not surviving animal attack, at least in one occasion. I mean, people who have read
Yeah.
this book, they know what I'm talking about. So all these layers, I believe that my readers will enjoy crossing through and enjoy the reading stories related to these layers, because these are all real stories, and eventually they will reach at the core concept of this book, which is sustainability.
I agree. Actually, the most important part of this book is that it is a real story. So
Yeah.
whenever a reader reads this book, they can purely connect with the stories because it is real. It has happened. That is the main part of this book. So moving on to the last question of this live interview session. Are you coming up with another book? And if yes, which genre?
Uh, Honestly, right now my goal is to ensure maximum outreach of the key messages which are coming out through this book, and that's why I'm participating in various talk shows. My publisher is also creating a lot of platform for me to talk about this book. I'm hosting a lot of podcasts with people who are directly involved in ecotourism and wildlife photography. They're wildlife photographers, they're photography experts, eco tour experts, conservationists. So those type of people I'm interacting and doing podcast with them and ensuring the outreach part of this, and probably I'll keep doing this for next few years. That is my main goal right now, rather than writing another book. However, yes, I have an aspiration to write few more books, and
Amazing.
those will be also related to sustainability,
Wow.
ecotourism, and wildlife, because that's all what I know and that's all what I do.
So me being a company secretary student, we also get a lot of education on sustainable development. But I've
Okay.
seen very few people actually doing sustainability in real life. So yes, I feel that every human should have an awareness related to sustainability because yes, the I have seen that the resources are being misused, the environment is degrading, the animals are being killed. So yes, this is a very important awareness that should be, be in the minds of every human. So I absolutely, respect you, sir, for taking this initiative. And this was a very great live session. I have loved interacting with you. I have loved reading this book, and I absolutely cannot wait to finish this book and put up my review. If you have any other questions to ask me, sir, I'm there to answer your question.
And no, I mean, first of all, I'd like to thank you, Devanshi, for hosting me, and pleasure is all mine for taking out your time and talking to me about this book. So you have said that you have read already 150 pages, which is nearly you are halfway through.
Yeah, you can see the
So
tabs that I have already put it, you know, like I keep on annotating things that I find interesting.
yeah,
So yeah, I'm learning a lot of facts from this book. There are a lot of species that I did not knew about, like wagtail and bonnet macaw, which is actually a monkey, and
yeah,
common bronco or something. So whenever I keep on reading this new species, the first thing I do is I go and Google that species. So I am learning a lot from this book actually, and I would love that the readers also take a lot from this book. This is not just a book, a fiction book, or it's, I don't even call this a fiction book. It's not a fiction book, but it's not just a book. It's a book where you actually go on a jungle safari in your mind. So that was what was happening to me. I have been to Jim Corbett, as I have already told you. So I know what a jungle safari truly means and how beautiful it is and how peaceful it feels. So yes, for me, this book is like actually going on a jungle safari while you are on the sofa of your own house.
yes, absolutely. In fact, one of my wildlife photographer mentors actually once told me that when you go to the forest, we should look for the holistic
Yeah,
offerings
yeah,
which nature has
yeah,
for us. If we just focus on tiger, seeing a tiger in a forest is a matter of luck. You may see, you may not see. But if you
yeah,
are 2 or 4 jungle safaris of 2 hours, 3 hours duration, if you spend all your energy and interest and activity to chase the tiger and you do not see tiger, at the end of the day you come back very disappointed. However, you
yeah,
had an excellent opportunity to see many other things which are in offerings. You miss that.
yeah.
So this is one of the thing probably I try to emphasize to various stories and various correlations, and that if that kind of touch people's heart and provoke some thoughts before taking part in ecotourism or while taking part in ecotourism, I would consider actually that um, I could do some, make some impact probably in society.
Amazing, amazing. So we'll end this live session. It was an amazing live session. I took a lot of education, like awareness from you, and I really hope that the next book that you write, I would love to review that too. So let's stay in touch, sir. It has been amazing to connect with you, to learn from you, and to grow from you.
Thank you, Devanshi, and you have a good day.
You too,